Hey, Retcon Raider here. Today's video is dedicated to Woe77. Thanks for your continued support. That said, let's get started.
To victory!
Really?
We're writing you out of our story.
Alright, I guess this is how we're opening then. Let's do this. Figures. Okay, let's try this again.
Looks like Tartuccio wasn't here for the Stag Lord. I don't know what he's up to, but I know what I'll do when I catch that snotty little sauce box.
It's curious that he wasn't concerned about the bandits and their chief. Something's wrong here.
Wow. Surprisingly topical. Unexpected. And welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker. Now, obviously, resting didn't go quite as smoothly as planned, but hey, I'm certainly not complaining about some extra experience points. Anyway, we're picking up right where we left off last time as we continue our exploration of the tunnels beneath the old Sycamore. We've actually made some pretty good progress so far, but we've still got a lot of ground to cover if we want to catch up with Tartuccio by episode 12. That said, let's not waste any time here. We'll head back into the depths and see what other kind of trouble we can get ourselves into. Alright, let's get our bearings here. We came in on the east side through the Kobold Caves, and we've blazed a pretty clear trail, so I guess that means we'll start by heading north. More centipedes. Well, I guess that makes for a good warm-up. We've actually got multiple camping bonuses stacked right now, so this should be even easier than usual.
Ready for anything. This should do it.
Who will prevail? Does it matter?
Yeah, that seems about right. Well, this certainly looks ominous. The inscription reads, "In praise of Taldor and the brave warriors of the 5th Army of Exploration, fallen but remembered in honor." Below is the date, year 2014, Age of Enthronement.
All according to plan.
My search was not in vain.
The stone plate returns to its initial position. Interesting. This room is surely the oldest, most forgotten place in the dungeon. The layer of dust lies thick as a blanket. Well, according to... oh, hold on. Looks like we've got a fairly obvious pressure plate. And another one over here, too. Okay, let's try pushing all three of these at the same time.
Time's not waiting.
The end draws near.
Well, I am yours to command.
I think it's a pretty safe bet that this is the source of the undead we fought last time, so let's get ready for a fight here.
No mistakes. Focus on the goal.
Just letting the ink dry.
Alright, let's see what we're up against.
Patience.
Oh, hold on.
I am prepared.
Okay, let's do this.
Grotus awaits us.
Looks like we've got 3 skeletal champions to deal with. He's probably the biggest threat. Let's have Valerie hold them at this choke point while we start queuing up some heavier attacks. Not bad. They're definitely not fireproof.
Let us strike as one!
Oh, there goes one of them. And there go the rest. Nicely done, heroes. Alright, let's get Valerie patched up, and then we'll see what those guys were guarding. Oh, looks like we learned about skeletal champions, too. Apparently that is one of the new features added in the more recent updates, and like I said last time, I like it. Having in-game access to monster stat blocks will make planning so much easier.
Share your trouble.
It also looks like Tristan went up a level, but I think we'll hold off on that for now. He did get a bit of a head start, but the rest of the party's not too far behind him, so we'll see if we can take care of all their level ups at the same time. In fact, we're so close to hitting level 4 that I think we'll keep exploring until we actually get that level up. Then we'll hit the pause button so you guys actually have time to give me suggestions. Nice, masterwork weapons. Not something we'll actually use, but it does make good trading fodder. The shields are too heavy to bother with, but we will grab that armor. Let's see what else we've got in here. Oh, right, and we still need to patch up Valerie, too.
Confide in me.
Everywhere I go, a pall hangs over everything. Though people say it was better before
How
I
may I help?
arrived.
I know what to do.
Interesting. Looks like we've got our first set of magic half-plate, and a Tongi +1. I don't think we'll get much use out of that Tongi, but we can definitely use that magic armor. Let's give it to Harem for now. We could give it to Valerie, but she seems to be doing okay with that full plate. Yeah, looks like that bumps his armor class up a full 2 points. We've also got that Tongi, but that's an exotic weapon, so none of our guys can actually use it. We'll just sell it the next time we visit Oleg's trading post. There's some minor valuables. Oh, and a potion of remove curse. That might actually come in handy. Alright, let's move on.
In due time.
we've still got some potentially tough fights ahead of us, so let's burn off a little more healing.
Right here, my friend.
Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so we can head north or we can head south. I think we'll fill in this area first. Hold up, let's get another light spell going.
Adventures call to them.
There we go. Well, I see a clearly marked mobility check, but no difficulty rating. Okay, it was an automatic success.
To victory!
More centipedes? No problem. Those things are basically just free experience at this point. Ah, looks like a secret entrance. The kobold has literally been bitten in half. Well, it doesn't take much to kill a kobold, but that's clearly some sort of warning, so we'll have to proceed with caution.
Interesting.
That is interesting. A secret sanctum, well hidden from prying eyes. Why would a kobold need to hide one of their shrines? I mean, kobolds obviously have their own pantheon, but I'm just trying to imagine what kind of god would demand this sort of secrecy. I'm gonna drive myself crazy trying to figure out that shrine. There's a huge serpentine trail in the dust. Something very large crept through here. Alright, well, between this and the bisected kobold we just passed, I think it's a pretty safe bet we're headed into a dangerous fight. I think we should probably toss up some buffs before we go any further.
Ready for anything? I'm listening.
Oh, sorry. Was lost in thought.
No mistakes.
The end draws near.
Time's not waiting.
Alright, I think that's everything we can do, so let's see what's waiting for us. More centipedes. I guess those could tear a kobold in half.
I wrote it like I saw it.
Not much of a challenge for us, though.
Serves you right.
What for Goron?
Left yourself open. A calculated risk.
Oh, that one's unusually large. But not nearly as large as that one. We might actually be in trouble here. Alright, let's get some cannon fodder on the field. Okay, let's get Valerie on that tremendous centipede.
Do not falter.
We'll try to clear out all the others while she's keeping it busy.
This will hurt.
Oh, wow. That's a problem. Amiri just took some major poison damage. Yeah, that thing's spraying poison all over the place. I think we need to pull out all the stops here. Let's just hope an endoskeleton counts as bones. Okay, so far so good, but we need to keep piling it on. Oh, that thing hits pretty hard, too.
Let's try this way.
Valerie's already lost half her health. Alright, let's hit it with more spells. Shoot, I should have used Divine Favor before I came in here. Well, I'll have to be more careful next time. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's finish off the stragglers.
Repent!
Anyone else? Guess not. Looks like we're clear. Oh, well, that was tougher than I was expecting. Could have sworn we saw more poison damage, though. Well, looks like Amiri took enough poison damage for everyone. She actually came pretty close to dying. It actually looks like everyone else came through relatively unscathed. I mean, Valerie took a lot of damage, but that's easy to fix. Alright, unfortunately we don't have access to restoration spells just yet, so we'll have to dig into our potion supply for this. Whoa, okay, no, hold on. Amiri, do not drink the entire stack, jeez. Well, now you know why I usually put potions on their belt before I actually use them. I honestly thought they'd fix that problem, but apparently not. On the bright side, that does take care of most of the poison damage. Yeah, I think we've used more than enough potions for now. Let's get our guys patched up, and then we'll see if this was worth it.
Something bothering you?
Patience.
I think that's good enough for now. Let's head for that loot marker. Restavik Paladin's crumpled helmet. Interesting. And an Agile Light Pick +1. Fancy, but unfortunately nothing we can actually use. I guess that Agile Pick could make a decent offhand weapon for a small-sized rogue, but even then, I'm not sure it's very good. At least it's worth a decent amount of coin. Well, we didn't get much out of that fight, but at least we're closer to level 4.
That is not far.
Yeah, looks like they set up warnings at every entrance to the cave. Oh my, that's an awful lot of bodies.
You deserved it.
Repent!
minor hit on Harem. Thank goodness he's basically immune to poison. I guess this must be where the mites and kobolds had their big falling out. A great battle between kobolds and mites took place here. It seems impossible to tell who won.
As it should be.
I think it's safe to say that no one won here. Well, maybe Tartuccio. Alright, we're actually making good time here. Let's keep moving.
In due time.
Oh, okay. I think... yeah, this leads back up to the Kobold Caves. Well, we're not ready to go back up just yet, so let's go check out those other tunnels. Oh, that's pretty. Very unnatural, but, still.
You forced my hand.
Onwards!
I'll try to make this swift. So it's come to this.
I wonder if these strange plants have something to do with all the giant animals around here. The taproot of the old sycamore. It was from here that the seed of the giant tree once sprouted. Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious there's something unnatural going on here.
This requires your attention.
Aha, buried treasure. The collapsed soil dragged some buried treasure down with it. Someone is going to be disappointed when they find their hoard missing. Well, their loss is our gain. Though I can't help but wonder if this belonged to the, old tasteless traveler. Oh, very nice. A headband of inspired wisdom. Let's immediately put that on one of our clerics. They could both certainly use it, but I think we'll give it to Tristan for now. He's a bit more of a caster than Harem is.
All according to plan.
More centipedes.
Any last
Running
wishes?
won't help you!
You know, I think we've got most of the serious fighting behind us at this point.
This should do it.
Yeah, nice and easy. Guess I shouldn't get cocky, though. All it takes is one lucky hit to ruin our day. Oh my. That's a pretty big spider. Thankfully, it's already dead. Mandibles of a huge spider. The mandibles of a huge spider that belonged to the fallen hero of the mites. Something tells me the mites might like this.
Follow my lead.
A recipe for jeweled rice. Nice. I think that's Jathal's favorite. The dark waters of the underground lake provide no hint to their depth. Yeah, we want nothing to do with that. Most of our party is wrapped in metal armor. Though, Harem doesn't seem to have any problem with breathing underwater. Yeah, I guess that's fine.
In due time.
Alright, I think we're almost done down here. We've probably just got 2, maybe 3 encounters left.
That is not far.
There's another exit. Based on the positioning, I guess it goes up to the Mite Caves. A whole lot of nothing so far.
Enemy approaching.
Your life ebbs low.
And another warning. Yeah, we're just north of the giant centipede cave. Guess that means we're headed north. Giant frog. Neutral, but not much of a threat. Sunlight in the darkness. There's so much hope in this. The sunlight managed to find its way into the dungeon, creating this island of life. Very strange. Very strange.
As it should be.
Though, not as strange as those alien plants we ran into earlier.
Here.
Well, a single chest in the middle of a bunch of neutral mobs. Gosh, I wonder what'll happen when we loot it. Golden Toad. A toad statuette made of solid gold. It looks more like an idol than a decorative figurine. That's a decent chunk of gold. Of course, I think we know what's gonna happen when I take it.
Can you make an epic pose? I need inspiration.
Yeah. You know, I actually feel kind of bad for these frogs.
Repent!
Look at me, Goron!
You out of our service.
Sorry, Froggos. Nothing personal. Those things actually did a number on Valerie.
Share your troubles.
I can't help but wonder if there's a deeper meaning behind that whole frog encounter. I'll have to do a little research, see if I can dig up anything relevant. Oof, looks like we missed that one tunnel. Well, let's do a little backtracking real quick.
All according to plan.
I found something interesting.
A Mite Hermit. Interesting.
In due time.
The Mite watches you angrily and hisses. The mite hisses again, furiously gesturing toward the exit. Alright, we get the hint. I think he drops some potions or scrolls if you kill him, but we're not monsters. Okay, one more cave and then we can head back up. And it's another exit. That's a bit anticlimactic, but at least it's convenient. It also looks like we're pretty close to level 4. Let's push on a little farther until we get that last 200 experience.
To victory!
Oh, came up right in the middle of a centipede nest.
Tear them apart!
Repent!
And of course Tristan had to get himself poisoned. Well, that's fine. We'll have to rest once we hit level 4 anyway. At least we finally got some use out of that sword.
Ready for anything. All according to plan.
Okay, looks like we're up in the northwest corner of the Mite Caves, so we're pretty close to being done here.
We will prevail!
Let yourself open.
Silverleaf is getting a little overconfident there. Hey guys, what are you up to?
This requires your attention.
This awful pile of garbage seems to be the Mite sorting center. Well, hope you don't mind if I help myself. "2 weeks, no catch one squirrel. Maybe they all dead?" Yeah, I'll admit, I haven't seen any squirrels lately. "Our glory hero and his riding spider fall whole and die. Poor spider pity." Well, that answers one question. Alright, well, I'll leave you guys to it. Thanks for the gossip. Adventure awaits.
Can you make an epic pose?
Your
I need
life
inspiration.
ebbs low.
Saren Ray, be generous to them, for I am not.
It seems that someone, or something, tried to gnaw through the frames, sometimes successfully. That's definitely a centipede hatchery. That's another question answered. Daisy, come. Good girl. The gatekeeper notices you and her face lights up. She turns away from her pet centipede. Greeting, ally. You come. Warrior Queen Bada wait you. The gatekeeper sighs in delight. Queen Beauty as little centipede. What lies ahead? Hole under old sycamore. Here live Mite and our animal. Careful, some animal still wild. There, deep hole, very dangerous. Up was Kobold Passage, but now it broken. Kobold dropped stones, we lift bridge. No passage. Sad. Rich chest lie passage. Big treasure. All lost now. Yeah, about that treasure of yours. Do you know where the Kobold Shaman Tartuk is now? Shaman Purplehide? No not. He run our hole, throw magic. Queen chase him. Queen know where he. How do I get to this broken passage? Lower bridge bad. Shaman Purplehide run away on bridge. The gatekeeper thinks for a while. Ally make trade, yes? You want passage, I want pretty helmet. You go lower passage deep where lie big dead spider. Our great warrior hero mounted until die. Bring me this bug jaw, I give you lever for bridge. You take chest with loot, I make helmet of spider. Sweet. Well, that's quite fortuitous. Here are the mandibles you asked for. All good. I make fine helmet. Take lever bridge, brave ally. I say no one, you take treasure. Well, good. That's good to know. Also, that just got us to level 4.
Interesting. In due time.
Alright, let's take a quick break while I go over our options, and we'll be right back so I can walk you through what I'd like to do with our party. Okay, we're closing in on the 40-minute mark, so let's try to make this quick. First up, we've got Silverleaf, and of course, he's taking another level in Alchemist. That doesn't get him much, but it does get him a new discovery. We've actually got some pretty good options here, but as that fight against the Shambling Mound showed us, we can't always rely on fire damage. I would like to take explosive bombs, but I think our best bet is actually acid bombs. They don't do nearly as much damage, but it'll give us another option against fire-resistant foes. Then we get our first attribute point, and of course, that's going right into intelligence. That actually gives us a few extra skill points, so we'll go ahead and put 1 point into each of our usual skills, and then we'll start building up persuasion as well. We'll never be great at that skill, but it is important to have at least a few ranks on your main character. Then we've got spells, and hold on, let's cycle over to level 2 spells. There we go. As you can see, we actually already have Cure Moderate Wounds from a scroll we found earlier. There's a lot of good options here, but I think our best bet is to actually pick a more obscure spell. Something that's less likely to appear on one of the scrolls we'll find in the immediate future. I'm thinking we should grab Eagle's Splendor. It's not the most useful spell, but we can use it to buff Lindsay, and it will come in handy for persuasion checks. Of course, feel free to give suggestions. Next we've got Valerie, and she's another fairly straightforward level up. I was actually tempted to try cross-classing her into Kineticist, or more specifically the Kinetic Knight, but as someone coming over from D&D, I'm completely unfamiliar with this class. There does seem to be some decent synergy there, but I'm just not sure this is the best place to try a completely untested build. We'll just stick with Fighter for now. That said, this is another level where we don't really get much, though we do get a bonus feat. Then we get an extra ability point, and I think we'll drop it into Dexterity. Valerie would normally be limited by her heavy armor, but she's actually got armor training, so that gives her a little more wiggle room when it comes to dexterity bonuses. She's our primary tank, so our main goal right now is to boost her armor class as quickly as possible. With that in mind, dexterity is definitely more important than constitution, at least in the short term. On a similar note, we'll also drop 2 of her skill points into mobility. It's not a skill she'll get much use out of, but it is something that will give her a small bonus when she's fighting defensively, which at the moment is all the time. We'll put her last point in persuasion. Then we've got our bonus feat, and honestly, I think this is an easy choice. It is tempting to go for weapon specialization, but I think we're better off going for something a little more universal, like power attack. Not only will it boost our damage, but it's also an important gateway feat. It's a prerequisite for feats like Cornigan Smash. That's it for Valerie. Next we've got Harem, and he's just as straightforward as usual. We'll pick up a level in Cleric, which gets him some new spells. He gets a new attribute point, which of course will go into Wisdom. And his skill points will go into the usual skills, Religion and Perception. I was tempted to put points into Mobility, but Amiri and Valerie are already falling behind on Perception, so I think Harem's better off just relying on armor and shields. We'll just be a little more careful with him. That's it for Harem, which, of course, brings us to Amiri. Amiri will be taking her 4th level in Barbarian, which gets her an attribute point and her 2nd rage power. Now, as far as her ability goes, I think, much like Valerie, we'll put her 1st point into Dexterity. All of her future points will go into Strength, but in the short term, I think she'll really benefit from the extra defensive bonuses that Dexterity has to offer. The alternative is to start pumping her Strength immediately, but in that case, I'd probably end up giving her heavy armor training at level 5. Of course, as usual, feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As for skill points, she's already got 3 points in Mobility, so we'll just boost her regular skills instead. Athletics, Nature Lore, Perception, and Persuasion. Then we have to pick her new Rage power, and this is another fairly obvious choice. We picked up Lethal Stance last time, so that means we're picking up Deadly Accuracy this time, which grants a pretty significant boost to confirming critical hits. And that brings us to Lindsay. Now, obviously, we'll be giving her a level in Bard, which doesn't actually give her much of anything this time around. She does get the usual assortment of ability points and skill points, though, and that's actually where I start getting a little uncertain. As a Bard, I feel like I should be putting her points into Charisma, but we're not really giving her any Charisma-based skills. Since we're basically using her as our surrogate thief, I feel like she could get better use out of a point in Dexterity. Though in either case, she wouldn't get any immediate benefits yet anyway. Thankfully, her skill distribution's a lot more straightforward. We'll just be boosting her thieving skills, Mobility, Trickery, Stealth, and Perception. But then we're right back to difficult choices with Lindsay's 2nd level spells. I do think we should pick up Cure Moderate Wounds, but I'm not really sure about what to fill our 2nd slot with. She's actually got a lot of good options here, so it really comes down to whether we want to focus on buffs or crowd control. In this case, I think I'm leaning towards Heroism. It's a pretty solid buff with a very good duration, but that's not a firm decision. As usual, feel free to let me know what you guys think. Of course, we will be able to get more spells at later levels. And finally, that brings us to Tristian. And this is where things get a little weird. The obvious thing to do is to just give Tristian another level in Cleric, but we've already got a dedicated Cleric in our party. What we don't have is a dedicated Arcane caster, so I was thinking we might try converting Tristian into a Mystic Theurge. That's a prestige class that can cast both Divine and Arcane spells. The problem is, it requires him to be able to cast 2nd level Arcane spells before he can actually take any levels in Mystic Theurge, which means it's a long-term investment. It'll take him at least 3 levels before he meets the prerequisites for the prestige class. Now, we could make things go a little faster if we took levels in Wizard instead, but he's just not cut out for that class. Fortunately, given his high wisdom, he's actually pretty well suited for the Imperial Sorcerer, which is basically a sorcerer that uses wisdom instead of charisma. It does mean that he'll be weaker in the short term. He's essentially going to be stuck with 1st level spells until level 6. Once he hits that 1st level of Mystic Theurge, though, he'll start growing in power very quickly. Like I said, it's a long-term investment. Anyway, that means we'll obviously be putting his 1 ability point into Wisdom. It's the one attribute that's vital for all 3 of his classes. Then we'll go ahead and stack all 3 of his skill points into Knowledge Arcana. just to meet the prereqs for Mystic Theurge in advance. He gets a bonus feat for his first level in Sorcerer, so I think we'll use that to grab Elemental Focus. As a Cleric of Sarenrae, he's going to have access to a decent assortment of fire-based spells, so we might as well take advantage of that. And then we get to choose his 2 starting spells, which he can use in addition to his normal clerical spells. Obviously, one of those spells will be Burning Hands, which is the only first-level arcane spell that does fire damage. I'm also tempted to take Mage Armor as our second pick, but I'm worried it doesn't stay viable long enough. That +4 armor class could be useful in the short term, but we'll find much nicer bracers of armor in the future. I think we might be better off with something a little more utilitarian. I don't really have anything specific in mind, so we'll just grab Magic Missile for now. Of course, as usual, I'm not really confident with that choice, so be sure to let me know what you guys think. And that's pretty much it. That's all of my current decisions on how to handle our level ups. I'm pretty confident with some of those choices, but not so much with some of the others. I think I've got a pretty good grasp on the Pathfinder rule set by this point, but I'll be the first to admit that I'm pretty far from being an expert. That said, let me know if you guys have any suggestions on how we can improve our party build. While I can't guarantee I'll end up using every suggestion, I will at least take them all under consideration. Anyway, we're well past the 40-minute mark at this point, and my throat is starting to get pretty tired, so I think we need to hit the pause button. We'll take a break here, and I'll keep an eye out for your suggestions. And we'll pick up here next time, as we complete our exploration of the Old Sycamore, and finally confront that scoundrel Tartuccio. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder Kingmaker, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube channel, the official Discord channel, the fan-run wikis, or the original crowdfunding page over on Kickstarter. Links are in the description.